wind on planet Sadala howled like a dying animal. It was a cold wind that cut through clothes and skin. It smelled of rust and old ashes. Vegeta dropped from the sky like a stone. He did not slow down. He did not use his energy to cushion the landing. He hit the ground with a massive crash. The earth cracked under his boots. Dust and purple fog flew up into the air in a giant ring. Vegeta stood up slowly in the crater he had made. He crossed his arms over his chest. His white gloves were bright against the dark grey dirt. He looked around. His eyes were sharp and angry. This was the home of the Saiyans in Universe 6. He had promised Kaba that he would visit one day. He had promised to meet the king of Sadala. He imagined a beautiful planet with strong warriors and proud cities. But this was not a beautiful place. Not anymore. The sky was covered in thick purple clouds that blocked out the sun. The clouds were swirling around the giant black tower in the distance. The tower was sucking the life out of the planet. The ground where Vegeta stood was grey and dead. There was no grass. The trees were black skeletons with no leaves. Vegeta felt a pain in his chest. It was not a physical pain. It was the pain of seeing a Saiyan world destroyed again. It reminded him of Planet Vegeta. It reminded him of Frieza. He clenched his teeth so hard that his jaw muscles popped. He swore that he would not let this happen. He would not let history repeat itself. He expanded his senses. He searched for energy signatures. He felt thousands of small evil energies. Those were the Void Soldiers. And in the middle of them, he felt a few bright lights. They were flickering like candles in a storm. It was Kappa and Caulifla and Kale, but their energy was low. They were losing. Vegeta snorted. He said, "Hold on, student. The prince is here." He exploded into flight. His blue aura tore through the purple fog. He flew toward the capital city. The capital of Sadala was a fortress built into the side of a mountain. It had tall stone towers and thick walls. But now the walls were broken. Black ships were hovering over the city. They were dropping bombs of void energy. The city was burning with purple fire. In the center square of the city, a desperate battle was happening. Kaba was fighting for his life. He was in his Super Saiyan 2 form. His hair was spiky and surrounded by lightning. But he was tired. His armor was cracked. He was bleeding from a cut on his forehead. He was fighting 3 Void Soldiers at once. These soldiers were huge. They looked like rock monsters made of obsidian. They had glowing red eyes and heavy hammers. Kaba punched one in the face, but his fist just bounced off. The soldier laughed a hollow sound and swung his hammer. Kaba dodged, but he was slow. The hammer clipped his shoulder. Kaba cried out and fell to the ground. Behind him, Caulifla and Kale were back to back. Caulifla was Super Saiyan 2 as well. She was firing red energy blasts rapidly. She shouted, "Die, you ugly rocks." But for every soldier she blasted, 2 more took its place. Kale was in her Control Legendary form. Her hair was green and her muscles were big. She was throwing soldiers around like rag dolls. But she was panting. She looked terrified. There were just too many of them. The soldier standing over Kaba raised his hammer high. He was going to crush Kaba's head. Kaba looked up. He tried to raise his arms to block, but he had no strength left. He closed his eyes. He thought, "I am sorry, Master Vegeta. I failed. I could not protect my home." Suddenly, the air pressure dropped. A blue flash of light blinded everyone. A boot slammed into the Void Soldier's face. It was not a normal kick. It was a kick that carried the weight of a planet. The Void Soldier did not just fly away. He disintegrated. He turned into dust instantly. The shockwave knocked the other soldiers backward. Kaba opened his eyes. He saw a figure standing in front of him. The figure wore blue battle armor with a white chest plate. His hair stood up in a flame of royal blue. His aura roared like a jet engine. Kaba whispered, "Master Vegeta?" Vegeta did not look back. He stared at the army of darkness. He said, "Stand up, Kaba. A Saiyan does not die on his knees. A Saiyan dies fighting." Kaba felt tears in his eyes. He forced his shaking legs to move. He stood up. He wiped the blood from his face. He said, "Yes, Master." Caulifla saw Vegeta. She grinned a wild grin. She shouted, "Hey, old man, you finally showed up. We were getting bored." Vegeta looked at her. He saw that she was hiding her fear with arrogance. He respected that. He said, "Focus on the fight, woman. Class is in session." Vegeta raised his hand. He pointed his palm at the black ships in the sky. He did not charge an attack. He just released a pulse of his ultra-blue energy. A massive beam of light shot up. It split into 5 smaller beams. Each beam hit a ship. The ships exploded in silent balls of fire. The debris rained down on the city. The Void soldiers paused. They had no fear, but they knew power when they saw it. This new warrior was different. Vegeta spoke to his students. He said, "Listen to me. These enemies are not alive. They are empty. They feed on your fear. If you hesitate, they get stronger. You must crush them with absolute confidence. You must show them the pride of the Saiyan race." Vegeta vanished. He appeared in the middle of the army. He was a blur of violence. He did not waste movement. Punch, kick, blast. Every hit destroyed an enemy. He was painting a picture of destruction. Kaba watched him. He felt his heart beating fast. He felt the inspiration flowing into him. Master Vegeta was right. He was afraid. He was afraid of losing. But fear was useless. He had to be proud. He was the protector of Sadala. Kaba roared. He flared his energy. He jumped back into the fight. He punched a soldier with new strength. The soldier shattered. Kale watched Vegeta too. She saw how calm he was. He was angry, but he was in control. She took a deep breath. She stopped shaking. She grabbed a soldier by the head and threw him into another one. The tide of the battle turned. With Vegeta leading them, the Saiyans pushed back. They reclaimed the city square. The purple fog began to retreat from the city. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Universe 6, Goku was flying through a heavy rainstorm. He was on a dark planet full of tall metal skyscrapers. It was a world of assassins and criminals. It was the home of Hit, but the city was silent. The neon lights were flickering and dying. The rain was washing away oil and blood in the streets. Goku landed on a rooftop. He looked around. He sensed a familiar energy. It was Hit, but the energy was erratic. It was spiking and dropping. Goku ran toward the edge of the roof. He looked down into the alleyway. Hit was there. The legendary assassin was on one knee. His long coat was torn. He was holding his chest. He was surrounded by 4 figures. They looked like mirrors. They were made of silver liquid. They had no faces. Goku jumped down. He landed next to Hit. He said, "Hey Hit, you look like you are having a bad day." Hit looked up. His eyes were narrow. He coughed. He said, "Son Goku, you should not have come. These are temporal clones. They adapt to time." Goku looked at the silver figures. He cracked his knuckles. He said, "Sounds fun. Are they strong?" Hit stood up slowly. He said, "They are annoying. They exist in the split second between time skips. Every time I skip time, they attack me in the dimension I travel through. I cannot hit them because they are part of the time stream itself." Goku scratched his head. He said, "That sounds complicated. So we just have to hit them faster than time." Hit almost smiled. He said, "That is your solution to everything. Just hit it harder." But yes, perhaps raw speed will work where technique fails. The temporal clones attacked. They moved in a strange, jerky way. They were glitching in and out of reality. One moment they were 10 feet away, and the next moment they were right in front of Goku. Goku turned Super Saiyan God. The red aura flared. He wanted speed. A clone punched at him. Goku dodged, but he felt a cut on his cheek. He was surprised. He had dodged the punch, but the attack still hit him. Hit explained. He said they attack from the future. You dodged the present attack, but the future attack already landed. You have to dodge before they even move. Goku laughed. He said, "Wow, Universe 6 is full of surprises." "Okay, I get it. Rely on instinct." Goku closed his eyes. He stopped thinking. He let his body react. He tapped into the principles of Ultra Instinct even though he was only in God form. He felt a shift in the air. A clone lunged. Goku moved. He didn't just dodge. He countered. He kicked the clone in the head before the clone threw the punch. The silver liquid shattered. The clone dissolved into a puddle. Hit nodded. He said, "Impressive. You attack the cause before the effect happens." Hit adjusted his stance. He was injured, but he was still the best. He focused his energy. He stopped time for a tenth of a second. In that frozen world, he saw the clones frozen in mid-air. He moved. He struck their vital points. When time resumed, 3 clones fell to the ground dead. Goku and Hit stood back to back. The alley was clear. Goku asked Hit where Champa is. "We need to know." Hit looked at the rain falling on his hands. He looked very serious. He said, "Champa is gone. I was with him when the tower appeared. He tried to destroy it. He used Hakai. But the tower, it ate the Hakai. It absorbed his destruction energy. Then it opened a maw and swallowed him whole. Vados tried to pull him out, but the void energy burned her staff. She retreated to find help." Goku gasped. He said it ate a god of destruction. That's impossible. Hit said Kamba is not normal. He is using the tower to process Champa. He is using Champa as a battery. The tower is pumping Champa's god energy into the core of the planet. It is corrupting the entire universe with divine void energy. Goku clenched his fist. He said we have to save him. If we don't, he will die. Hit said there is more. The tower is guarded, not just by soldiers, but by a creature made from the stolen shadows of the strongest warriors. I fought it, and I barely escaped. Goku looked at the sky in the direction of Sadala. He said Gohan went to the tower. He is alone. Its eyes widened. He said alone. That is suicide. We must go to him. Now. Back on planet Sadala, Gohan was hovering in front of the massive void tower. The tower was made of black bones and twisted metal. It went up so high it pierced the atmosphere. It was pulsing with a dark purple light. Thump, thump. The sound was so loud it vibrated in Gohan's teeth. Gohan was in his beast form. His silver hair was flowing in the violent wind. His red eyes were scanning the tower. He could feel the evil inside. It was thick and heavy like oil, and deep inside he felt a familiar energy. It was Champa, but it was weak. It felt like a voice screaming underwater. Gohan flew toward the main entrance of the tower. It was a giant mouth carved into the base. As he got closer, a figure stepped out of the shadows to block his path. It was not a soldier. It was a warrior. He was tall. He had blue skin and white hair. He wore a red uniform with gold trim. He held a staff in his hand. Gohan stopped. He recognized the race. It was an angel, or at least it looked like one. But his skin was dark blue, not pale blue, and his eyes were black pits with red irises. His halo was broken and jagged. The figure spoke. His voice was smooth and polite but terrifying. He said, "Welcome, Son Gohan. I have been expecting you. I am Abyssal. I am the Void Angel." Gohan sensed the energy. It was God Ki. but it was inverted. It felt cold and empty. Gohan said, "You are not an angel. Angels are neutral. You are evil." Abysso smiled. He said neutrality is a lie. There is only existence and non-existence. My master Kamba offers the peace of non-existence. I was created from the data of the angels. I have their technique. I have their speed. But I have no laws binding me. I can fight at full power. Can you? Gohan didn't answer. He just flared his aura. The violet light of destruction mixed with his beast energy. He charged. He moved faster than light. He threw a punch at Abysso's face. Abysso didn't move his feet. He just tilted his head slightly. Gohan's fist missed by an inch. Gohan spun and kicked. Abysso raised his staff and blocked the kick. There was no sound of impact. The staff absorbed the kinetic energy. Abysso tapped his staff on Gohan's chest. A blast of black force shot Gohan backward. Gohan flew through 3 mountains before he stopped himself. He shook his head. That hit hurt. It felt like his soul was bruised. Abysso appeared in front of him instantly. He said, "Is that all? The candidate for God of Destruction is disappointing. You lack elegance. You fight like a mortal." Gohan wiped blood from his lip. He stood up. He remembered Whis's training. Keep your mind calm. Let the body react. Don't think about the pain. Gohan closed his eyes for a second. He took a deep breath. He suppressed his anger. He entered the state of calm focus. His red eyes glowed brighter. The red lightning around him turned white. Gohan moved again. This time he didn't rush. He flowed. Abysso swung his staff. Gohan ducked under it. Gohan punched Abysso in the stomach. This time it connected. Abysso gasped. Gohan followed up with a knee to the chin. Abysso flew up into the air. Gohan flew after him. He fired a Masenko. The yellow beam hit Abysso. Abysso deflected it with his hand, but he was pushed back. Abysso looked annoyed. He said, "Very well. You have some skill, but can you handle the darkness?" Abysso raised his hands. The sky turned black. The shadows on the ground stood up. They formed into spikes. The spikes shot up at Gohan. Gohan dodged left and right. The spikes were chasing him. He realized the environment itself was the weapon. Gohan flew higher. He needed space. He looked down at the tower. He needed to destroy the source. He needed to break the tower to free Champa. He charged a special beam cannon. He had learned it from Piccolo, but he infused it with destruction energy. The beam was purple and spiraled with black lightning. Gohan shouted, "Eat this!" He fired the beam at the tower. Abysso tried to intercept it, but he was too slow. The beam hit the tower, but the tower didn't break. The black bones absorbed the beam. The purple light of the tower glowed brighter. It fed on the attack. Gohan gasped. He said it eats energy. Abysso laughed. He said precisely, "Every attack you throw just feeds Kamba. You are powering your own destruction. The only way to stop it is to turn off the source, and the source is Lord Champa. To save the universe, you must kill the god. Can you do it, Gohan? Can you kill a god to save a world?" Gohan froze. That was a terrible choice. If he destroyed the tower, he might kill Champa. If he didn't, the universe would die. Meanwhile, Vegeta had finished cleaning up the city. The Void Soldiers were gone. Kaba and the girls were safe. Vegeta sensed Gohan's distress. He looked at the tower in the distance. He felt the massive energy spike. Vegeta said, "Kaba, listen to me. I have to go. Gohan needs help. You stay here. Protect your people. If any more ships come, destroy them." Kaba nodded. He stood tall. He said, "I will, master. Go." Vegeta flew toward the tower. He pushed his speed to the limit. He was worried. Gohan was strong, but he was too kind. He would hesitate to kill Champa, and hesitation meant death. Vegeta arrived at the battlefield just as Abysso was about to stab Gohan with his staff. Vegeta slammed into Abysso from the side. He tackled the Void Angel. They crashed into a canyon. Vegeta stood up and dusted himself off. He shouted, "Gohan, wake up. Don't listen to his lies." Gohan looked at Vegeta. He said, "Vegeta, the tower absorbs energy. We can't blast it, and Champa is inside." Vegeta looked at the tower. He scowled. He said, "Then we do it the hard way. We go inside and we pull him out." Abysso floated up from the canyon. He looked angry now. His uniform was dirty. He said, "You monkeys are annoying. You interrupt my conversation." Vegeta smirked. He turned Super Saiyan Blue evolved. His muscles bulged. He said, "I'm the prince of all Saiyans. Interrupting is my specialty." Just then, a sonic boom echoed across the sky. Goku and Hit arrived. They landed next to Gohan and Vegeta. The team was reunited. Goku looked at Abysso. He said, "Wow, that guy looks like a creepy Whis." Hit looked at the tower. He said, "The entrance is blocked by a barrier. We need to break it physically. No energy attacks." Gohan nodded. He said, "Okay. Dad and Vegeta and Hitchu keep Abysso busy. I will break the door. I have the strongest physical strength in beast form." Goku cracked his knuckles. He said, "Sounds like a plan. Hey Vegeta, ready for round 2? Vegeta grunted. He said, "Try to keep up Kakarot." The 3 warriors charged at Abysso. Goku used Godspeed. Vegeta used Raw Power. Hit used Time Skips. It was a 3-pronged attack. Abysso was overwhelmed. He blocked Goku's punch, but got hit by Vegeta's kick. He dodged Vegeta's blast, but got hit by Hit's invisible strike. Abysso screamed. He summoned a sword made of void energy. He started to fight back seriously. The clash was intense. Sparks flew everywhere. The ground shook. Gohan ignored the fight. He flew straight to the mouth of the tower. There was a thick purple barrier covering the entrance. Gohan landed in front of it. He clenched his fists. He focused all his beast power into his muscles. His arms grew larger. His veins popped. He punched the barrier. Crack! A small spiderweb fracture appeared. The tower shuddered. The barrier tried to heal itself. Gohan didn't let it. He punched again, and again, and again. Aura, 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 aura. He was punching thousands of times per second. He was tearing the magic apart with brute force. He roared. He thought about Kaba. He thought about Pan. He thought about the universe. With one final scream, Gohan delivered a massive uppercut to the barrier. It shattered like glass. The entrance was open. Gohan shouted, "I'm in!" He flew inside the darkness. Inside the tower, it was like being inside a living organism. The walls were pulsing wet meat made of shadow. It was hot. It smelled terrible. Gohan flew down the central shaft. He followed Champa's energy. He reached the core chamber. It was a large, round room. In the center, suspended by thick black tubes, was Champa. The god of destruction looked terrible. He was skinny. He had lost all his weight. His skin was pale. His eyes were rolled back in his head. The tubes were pumped into his back, draining his purple destruction energy. The energy was flowing down into the floor, into a portal that led to the void. Gohan flew to Champa. He grabbed the tubes. He tried to pull them out, but they were fused to Champa's skin. If he ripped them, he might kill him. Suddenly, a voice echoed in the room. It was not Abysso. It was deeper. It was Kanba. The voice said, "Foolish boy, you cannot disconnect him. He is part of the tower now. If you remove him, the feedback will destroy his soul." Gohan looked around. He shouted, "Show yourself." A shadow formed on the wall. It was a giant face with red eyes. It was Kanba speaking from the void. Kamba said, I have tasted the power of a god. It is delicious, but it is not enough. I want more. I want the power of an angel. I want the power of the Omni King. Gohan ignited his hand with blue Kai. He formed a keyblade. He said, I don't care what you want. I'm taking him back. Gohan carefully cut the tubes one by one. He used his surgical precision again. He cauterized the wounds instantly with his heat. Champa groaned in pain, but he didn't die. Gohan cut the last tube. Champa fell forward. Gohan caught him. The god was light as a feather. As soon as Champa was free, the tower began to shake violently. The wall started to scream. The floor began to crack. Kamba roared, No, my battery! The shadow on the wall lunged at Gohan. Gohan flared his aura, creating a shield. He held Champa tight. He flew up toward the exit. The tower was collapsing. Debris was falling everywhere. Outside, the battle was still raging. Abysso felt the connection to the tower break. He stumbled. His power dropped. Vegeta saw the opening. He shouted, Final flash. Goku shouted, Kamehameha. Hit shouted Time Cage. Hit trapped Abysso in a time cage, freezing him in place. The combined beams of Goku and Vegeta hit the Void Angel. Abysso screamed as his physical form was destroyed. He turned into blue dust and vanished. Just then, Gohan burst out of the top of the tower carrying Champa. He flew high into the sky. Gohan shouted, I got him. Move. The tower imploded. It folded in on itself. It crumbled into a pile of black dust. The sucking sound stopped. The purple clouds began to clear. The sun of planet Sadala shone through for the first time in weeks. Gohan landed on the ground. He laid Champa down gently. Goku and Vegeta and Hit landed next to him. Champa opened his eyes. He looked weak. He coughed. He looked at Beerus' brother. Wait, no, it was Goku. He looked confused. Champa whispered, Beerus, is that you? You got fat. Goku laughed. He said, nope, it's me, Goku. And Gohan saved you. Champa looked at Gohan. He saw the silver hair. He saw the divine energy. He smirked. Champa said, not bad for a mortal. Where is Vados? Suddenly, a bright light appeared. Vados descended from the sky. She looked relieved. She had been hiding in the dimension of angels, recovering her energy. She saw Champa safe. She smiled a genuine smile. She said, Oh Lord Champa, you look trim. Have you been on a diet? Champa tried to yell at her, but he was too weak. He just grumbled. He said, shut up. Get me a cheeseburger. Gohan stood up. He felt good. They had won. They saved the planet. They saved the god. But then, Jiren contacted them telepathically. His voice was urgent. Jiren said, do not celebrate yet. I am on Namek. Something is wrong. The Namekians, they are gone. Gohan touched his earpiece. He said, what do you mean gone? Did the Void Soldiers kill them? Jiren said no. They vanished willingly. They walked into a portal. All of them. The entire population. They were chanting a name. Gohan asked what name. Jiren said, Zalama. Gohan froze. Zalama. The creator of the Super Dragon Balls. The Dragon God. Why would the Namekians go to him? And where was he? Suddenly, the sky of Universe 6 ripped open again. But this time it wasn't purple void energy. It was gold. A blinding golden light poured out. A voice shook the entire universe. It was an ancient voice. Older than Zeno. Older than the Grand Priest. The voice said, the balance is broken. The void has touched the divine. The creator must awaken to reset the board. Goku looked up. He shielded his eyes. He said, that Kai. It's enormous. It's bigger than anything I've ever felt. The Grand Priest's voice came through their communicators. He sounded terrified. For the first time ever, the Father of Angels sounded scared. He said, Return to the palace immediately. Do not engage the golden light. That is the dragon god, Zalama. If he has awakened, it means he intends to judge the multiverse. Gohan looked at his father. He looked at Vegeta. Vegeta said, "Judge the multiverse." What does that mean? It said, it means he might erase everything to start over. If the void infection is too deep, he will prune the tree. Gohan clenched his fists. He had just saved this world. He wasn't going to let a dragon god erase it. He said, "We are going back. We need answers." They gathered Champa and Vados. They boarded the travel cube. They shot off into space, leaving a recovering Sadala behind. But as they traveled, Gohan couldn't shake the feeling of dread. Kanba was the enemy from the outside. But Zalama, he was the power from the inside. And if the Creator turned against them, they had no chance. The episode ended with a shot of the Super Dragon Balls floating in the void between universes. They were glowing, and inside the largest star, a giant golden eye opened. Stay tuned for the next episode, The Awakening of the Dragon God. The trial of the multiverse begins.